It's really scary in those pictures. Those mug shots are really, really hard to look at. Yeah, I'm still scared of them. He said he was really mad and he choked her and he realized she was dead. Could have been me. It almost was me. He was definitely trying to intimidate me by stalking me. Every time I look back, he's right there. That night, he has a box cutter to my throat, and I'm yelling and I'm screaming for help. I do think he meant to kill me. And he wouldn't admit it. He won't answer any of the questions that I have. Asking him multiple times, and he just won't do it. I need him to admit that for my sanity.
My mind automatically go to homicide, right? I'm gonna kill this person. I snapped, took out the box cutter and got on the ground and tried to slit her throat.
Has your mind always been like that?
Man, I've been like that my whole life, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's only a matter of time, right?
So you knew that you were basically a ticking time bomb?
Absolutely.
You still a ticking time bomb?
Man, I don't know if I should say this on camera, man, but I scare myself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Because I know where my mind goes.
This is a picture of me and Corey. A little after we first started dating. It was new, it was fun. He has a great smile. It's hard not to smile when he smiles. Corey was the first person to take me out on dates and spend money on me and make me feel important. And it was a nice feeling like that I was in love. Feeling like he loved me too. It's a good feeling. I do wish it could have stayed like that. It didn't work out that way. I had a okay childhood in the beginning. For most of my life, in our house, it was just me, my mom, my sister, and my sister's dad. And around like 12, I found out my parents were using drugs and, life just kind of went downhill from there. There was nothing in that house. We slept on the floor. It was more like a spot for my parents and their friends to do their drugs. When I met Corey, I was 14. He was 24. He was very charming and very giving. And he seemed so cool. At the time, being that young, I thought I was like madly in love with this guy. Corey was an escape from my reality. I was able to get away from everything going on at home. I don't know if I felt like I wanted better. I don't think I knew what better was. I just didn't want to be there. The first time I seen Corey's anger, we were going out to eat. I see a couple of guys that I hung out with, and they're like, "What's up? How you been?" Whenever I'm talking to them, and out of the blue, Corey just gets pissed. His face was like wrinkled up, and his eyes get really big, and just scary. I told the guys, like, y'all don't need to be talking to her. And he's yelling, they're telling him, like, no, you don't need to be saying that about her. She's not like that. Just saying some really messed up things. I was really embarrassed.
Let's go.
That was the first time I seen him be jealous like that. And then it was over. He didn't say anything to me. He just acted like it didn't happen. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't want to aggravate him. I was just in my head like, what just happened? Why would he do that? After that raid happened, I didn't see my sister for a few months. And then my sister got out of the foster home and she was at her cousin's house and I wanted to be there. There was one night me and Corey were at his house and I was really missing my sister. And I wanted to go be with her. So I started telling him, I was like, I'm gonna go stay with my sister. And I started packing up all my stuff, little stuff I had. And he's just silent. I could see him getting irritated. And he just was like, you're not leaving. You don't need to be there.
Where the hell you think you going?
What?
He was throwing my clothes out of my suitcase.
Corey, stop!
And I had a picture of my sister sitting on the dresser. And I go to grab it, and he snatches it out of my hand. And he's like, I'm not giving you this picture. If you don't stay, you can't have this picture. To get that picture back, I had to put all of my clothes back where they were, put the suitcase away, be calm, stop crying, and act like that didn't happen. He knew how much that photo meant to me. That was the only picture that I had. I feel like Corey knew, what buttons to push and what would hurt me. He knew me. I'd like to know if that was his plan, to try to break me down, to keep me there. Like, I need to know that. This was the first time I seen him want that much control. Got worse from there.
Hello, this is a free call from an inmate at the Minnesota Department of Corrections, Stillwater Correctional Facility. To accept this free call, press 0.
Hello?
Hey, how are you doing?
Yep. Good.
I sent you a letter a couple of days ago. We got the green light from the prison. We're coming out to meet you.
Yeah, we definitely want to get a whole story out there.
So what happened? You just attacked her?
Yeah, I tried to slit her throat open.
My son was born November 22nd, 2007. I really hoped that Corey would change. I thought he would see his son and we could just be a family. That's all I wanted. But he wasn't there. He wasn't changing diapers. When he would come home from work, he would just walk right past our son. Like, wouldn't pick him up, wouldn't, hold him or anything. It hurt me a lot, especially when my baby started reaching for his dad and him just walking past him. Corey just wanted it to be all about him. Nobody else. Slowly, he tried to pull me away from everybody. Over time, it worked. He pulled me away from all of my friends. I stopped talking to a lot of people. During all that time, I did feel stuck. And he had me so just messed up in the head. One night, it was kind of late. He was sleeping and his phone kept ringing. And I grabbed it. And I just seen different messages from different girls. Like, hey, what's up? And I miss you. Stuff like that. Just confirmation that there were other females he was talking to. He woke up because he came out into the hallway and he seen that I had the phone. And he's like, what the f*** are you doing? So he slapped me in the back of the head and then he kicked me, snatched the phone. Like, I didn't know who that was. I never seen that. You know, I was scared. It was just like dead, evil. He didn't say sorry or anything. He just slammed the door. This was the first time he put his hands on me. One day, I told him over the phone that I didn't want to be with him anymore. So I was tired of all the cheating. I was tired of the abuse. I was tired of the drinking. I didn't want to do it anymore. I just kept telling him I don't want to be with him. He doesn't say anything to me after that. He's just silent like a snake. There's nothing you can do or say. I'm just done. And I just hung up the phone. Looking at it now, I just think he's a bastard. He told my friends for 3 days that he was gonna kill me. He said it with a straight stone cold face. He meant that. I always had to, look over my shoulder. I was scared. I had started noticing anytime I would leave the house, he was following me everywhere. He was definitely trying to intimidate me by stalking me. It's just a sign of him unraveling. Him not being able to control himself anymore. I didn't think about going to the police because he was still living there. How can I say he's stalking me and we're living together? It's an unsettling feeling. I was definitely afraid for my life. You have no idea what he's gonna do next. He came upstairs a couple of times, tried to get me to go to the basement with him. Tell me, like, Lisa, come downstairs and have a drink. But everything in me was telling me not to go in that basement with him. Everything. I knew he was gonna try to hurt me. I knew that's why he wanted me to come down there. Kept telling him no. Something in me was just telling me that something bad was gonna happen that day. He did that 2 times. Third time he comes up, he's like, I'm taking my son.
You know what? I'm
about to take my son and leave.
I'm out.
No, you're not.
When he said that, I instantly got pissed. And we started arguing. I'm telling him, like, you're not taking my son nowhere. And Corey's pacing back and forth, and his eyes are just big and empty, and he just looks so just evil. Like, it was scary. And then the next thing I know, he runs towards me and he starts punching me. He's on top of me when he pulls the box cutter. He has a box cutter to my throat. I don't know how he got to it so fast, but I was just holding his hand like this. And I'm yelling and I'm screaming for help. My dad comes running out of the bedroom, gets on top of him, and he's choking him. This man is still on top of me. And at that point, I just felt like nobody can do anything. He's invincible. No, they can't get him off me. At this point now, they're trying to call the police. They can't. He cut the phone lines. We're face to face. He looks like the devil. There's nothing there. Eyes just like they were just completely black. And I don't know where I got that strength from to hold him off. The box cutter is literally, if I moved the wrong way, it would have cut me. I'm just screaming, help me, over and over again. My sister, she runs up to the neighbor. The neighbors call the police. When the police get there, he finally got off of me. Runs back down to the basement and breaks out the window and leaves. And I feel something leaking from my head. And I touch its blood. There was blood on the floor. There was blood on the couch. I had to get 7 staples in my head. And I still have the scar. It's a reminder all the time. Right at the top of my head, you can see the scar there. I have tried to talk to Corey about that night. He won't say anything other than, if I wasn't drinking, I would have never done that. He won't take responsibility for what he did. It's psychotic. I would love to know why he did that to me. Like, it's one thing for you to slap me or, in the heat of an argument, but to sit there and plan this, what did I do to you? Like, for you to not want me to be here anymore. Megan, she looks happy, full of life. She's a beautiful girl. Not here anymore. I didn't know Megan. I did talk to her on the phone once while he was with her. I tried to tell her that she should be careful. Tried to save her. She wouldn't listen to me. I want to know some things about that night. I would like to know if it was intentional. Corey Thomas is a selfish, evil, abusive, manipulative psychopath. He's a murderer, and he always will be. Corey is where he belongs. He needs to stay there. Corey only having 10 years left it's hard to think about that. 10 years goes by fast. He tried to kill me in front of my family. That didn't stop him. So nothing feels safe if he's... Will Corey hurt me again when he's out of prison? Does Corey think he'll kill again?
Do you think you're evil?
I could be evil, yes. Is I'm an evil person? No, but I can be evil because I always start off as nice, you know what I'm saying? And then if something don't go my way, if I get mad, I get angry, and then that's when I become evil. That's when the evil come out.
Who is Megan Neely?
Megan Neely was a girlfriend that I met when I got out of prison. I met her at a meeting. I was living in a sober home. She was nice and sweet and supportive. A good mother, too, so. She was making me better by keeping me sober, keeping me out of trouble. It's a lot of argument and stuff going on. I don't remember what we'd be arguing about. It's just like petty stuff, you know? She jumps up and grabs me by my neck. We start fighting. She ends up on the ground. And I start choking her. When I get into that rage where I feel like I'm gonna kill somebody, I automatically black out where I don't remember stuff. My mind, now that I had time to think about all this stuff, when I get into a fight, my mind my mind is just not focusing on fighting, and I don't know where this come from, but that's where my mind went. Oh, we're gonna get into a fight, okay, you're gonna put your hands on me, I'll kill you, you know? I'm pretty laid back and charming guy and sweet. It's just when I get angry and I get mad, and somebody put their hands on me, man, it's just a whole nother level, right?
So the level of anger you have is...
wouldn't call it anger, I call it rage, man.
Can you feel it coming on when that's gonna happen?
Well, it automatically come on, man. It's not a feeling, it's like a switch, like a light switch, man. It's like my mind just go enraged, man. It just go one way and one way only.
And that's what happened, you just switched?
Absolutely.
Were you sober when you did it?
I absolutely was sober. And, you know, what's crazy? I think if I was under the influence, it would have been probably 10 times worse. I never told anybody this, right? So, I love to iron, as you can see, right? So it was an iron right there. My first mind was to pick up the iron and hit her with it. I chose not to do that. Instead, I choked. And when I realized that she was deceased, I panicked and I hit the body in the crawl space and I left. I've been in prison since 2011. I've been having a lot of positive stuff going on with myself, you know? no trouble. I haven't been getting no major trouble. Go to school, I work.
You consider yourself reformed?
Absolutely, because the reason I feel I'm reformed now is because I stop and think before I make a decision. And I'm so used to just making a decision and then worry about the consequences and stuff later.
Talk to me about New Year's Eve, 2008.
Lisa, she was trying to leave me. I was drinking, celebrating, and I was threatening her life to kill her. She left the whole day or whatever.
So when did she tell you she was trying to leave you?
Well, we've been arguing about this for days now. She's been telling she got tired of the domestic violence, got tired of me cheating on her and stuff like that.
Why didn't you just let her go?
I wasn't trying to let her go because I was very controlling at the time. I wanted to do my thing and control her and have her at the same time.
So you knew that you just wanted to be in control?
Absolutely. I was hella controlling her, like isolating her and everything. Didn't want her to hang out with family and stuff. Didn't want her to go out with people. Didn't want her to talk to people. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm doing my thing.
So when Lisa decided she wanted to break up with you, did you feel like you were losing control and that's part of what made you snap?
Absolutely. I actually go in that panic mode, right? When you got abandonment issues, right? When you grew up with abandonment issues and a person try to leave you, you can automatically feel like your world is crashing down on you, right? So that mindset so that thought going in your head, if I can't have you, nobody's gonna have you. And I had a box cutter already in my pocket because I used to stock shelves at a grocery store, so I already had it in my pocket. So I snapped, took out the box cutter and got on the ground and tried to slit her throat. And then her father jumped on top of me and saved her.
So Lisa said that you hadn't been going to work those past few days.
Yeah, because I was stalking her.
So if you weren't going to work, why'd you keep the box cutter on you?
Because I'm thinking the whole time I'm planning this murder.
Oh, so you did plan it out?
Yes.
How long did you plan that attack?
I'd say probably a couple months. Well, just was thinking about the place where I'm gonna do it at, where I'm gonna do it at, because it was an instance where I followed her and her friends to the grocery store. If I was gonna do it in the grocery store, outside the grocery store, where, if I was gonna do it while she was sleeping, if I was gonna do it while we're alone. So these are my thoughts at the time. My plan was to kill her so she wouldn't go and be with nobody else.
But you knew her folks and your son were there. What about them?
I didn't care about none of that. I didn't even care about my own son at that time, man.
What does that say about your mindset then?
That says that my mind up. And that's my thoughts is up, and that's where I go when I'm in that controlling mode.
Did you ever love her?
I cared about her at a certain extent. Did I love her? And I don't think so. I love what she could do for me, but I tell him that.
So are you capable of love?
I could pretend I'm capable of love. Yeah, I could pretend. I'm really good at pretending. But is I'm capable of really loving somebody? No. But I'm a good pretender, though.
Do you feel there's like a different version of you inside? Like there's that anger, there's that rage-filled version of you?
Absolutely. I feel like it's another side of me that you don't want to know, that I can't contain. I mean, I could contain it as long as I stay out of mess, but is that realistic, right? Is that realistic? I mean, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have problems with people, right? I gotta learn how to walk away. But how do you walk away when somebody put their hands on you? I'm not saying that's an excuse, but that's just where my mind go.
You're not reformed then, are you?
I guess you could say I'm not reformed because my mind gonna still go there. My mind automatically go to homicide, right? I'm gonna kill this person.
You all right?
Yeah.
Nervous?
Yeah. I'm nervous. I'm really curious to see what he's gonna say.
When is the last time you've seen and heard his voice?
Been a long time.
Talk to me about New Year's Eve, 2008.
She was trying to leave me, and I was threatening her life to kill her.
Why didn't you just let her go?
I wasn't trying to let her go because I was very controlling at the time. I wanted to do my thing and control her and have her at the same time. I was hella controlling her, like isolating her and everything. I actually go in that panic mode. And if a person try to leave you, you can automatically feel like your world is crashing down on you, right? Because I can't stand seeing you with somebody else. So I'll try to kill her so she won't be with nobody else.
He admitted it. It's a lot of mixed emotions hearing him say that. It's the first time I heard him say that he knew he was controlling me. It makes it so much worse that he knows that he knew. I can't believe he finally said it. He looks crazy. He was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, this is...
How long did you plan that attack?
I'd say probably a couple months.
So were you planning on killing her even before you knew she wanted to break up?
Yeah, absolutely. I lost all my control. So my control is to get rid of her, so then I won, right? Then I don't have to worry about that.
That's scary. I had no idea. What the... He really wanted me dead. I had no idea. Oh, that makes me appreciate so much more that I'm here. I cannot believe it was that long. That's beyond scary, that he was able to sit there for weeks, months, and hide the fact that he was thinking to hurt me. He's evil.
With Megan, you remember starting to choke her, right?
Yeah.
And then you remember her eyes rolling back.
Yeah.
But you couldn't control yourself to release her?
No, because once I'm there, I'm already there. What's the point? Stop it.
So did you black out at all when you killed Megan?
As I look back, I remember everything with that situation. I love to iron, as you can see, right? So it was an iron right there. My first mind was to pick up the iron and hit her with it. I chose not to do that. Instead, I choked her.
So you were conscious of what you were doing.
Yes.
I mean, you may not be able to control it, but you were conscious of what you were doing.
Absolutely.
So did you black out for any of Megan's murder?
No, I don't think so.
That's scary, because he told me he blacked out, but he was fully aware of everything that he was doing. And at any point in time, he could have let her go. And for him to say that he was already there, what was the point? You're a murderer. Like, why you couldn't just let her go? I think Corey lied to me about being aware of killing Megan because he knew if I knew that he was aware of that, I probably would never speak to him again.
When is your expected date to get out of prison?
Well, 2034 on paper, right? 2430 on paper. So on paper, 10 more years left.
Do you think you'd kill again?
Wow. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question. So this is my last chance. I'm gonna try my hardest. I can't make that decision now. I don't know what I'm gonna do until I'm faced with a certain situation or scenario. So I don't want my words to man, I don't know if I should say this on camera, man. Okay, so my brother, right? My same mother, man. I threatened his life before, right? But I wasn't worried about this dude. So he called up here about a couple months ago, called the warden up here and tried to get me in trouble, right? So the first thing that come to my mind is what? I'm gonna get out and kill this dude, man. He tried to get me in trouble. See, that's a different situation. He didn't put his hands on me, but he tried to get me in trouble, right? So yes, it's scary. My mind do still go there.
What? He'll do it again. You just said it. I don't ever want to see him or speak to him again. Ever. I do think Corey is gonna try to get back in my life once he gets out. I'm scared to death. I feel very lucky that I survived Corey. I'm still here. My son still has his mother. And I've kept all of this from my son, including him knowing who his real father is. I've got rid of pictures. I've made everybody lie to my son, not tell him who his father is. Because I'm just trying to protect him. I don't want him to know. I don't want him to know. I hope he can understand that. I really do. Corey getting out worries me a lot. I'm worried for myself, but I'm more worried about my son.
When my grandmother passed away, I inherited a metal box. It contains original newspaper articles, Wileen and Lily's death certificates. It was her collection of any kind of investigative material. This crime was extremely horrific. It just doesn't even seem like another human being would be capable of this. My family was ripped apart. On her deathbed, my grandmother told me never to forget what happened, to keep fighting for the family and getting justice for my two aunts, Wileen and Lily. It's mourning in the Heights, a neighborhood known for its artists and musicians. Back in the 80s, the Heights was known for an area that had a lot of shops, restaurants, live music. It really brought in artists, musicians. The Heights was a very vibrant scene. It was an art environment. Most of the people that lived in the Heights, that's what they did for their career and what they loved to do. The Heights is right where sisters Lily, 23, and Wileen Kennedy, 33, want to be. Wileen was a stained glass artist and interested in arts and music, so it was a perfect place for her to move. She could walk to a club and listen to live music. Wileen and Lily's father, Jack Kennedy, also lives nearby in the Heights. This morning, he's waiting for them to take him to a doctor's appointment. But they're late. My grandfather decided to go ahead and just walk over to the house, which was right around the corner. Something did not appear right, because the front door was open. Wileen was laying on the ground at the entryway, and Lily was laying at Wileen's feet. He found both of his daughters dead. He called 911, asking for medical assistance. Each victim had different injuries. Lily, the younger one, appeared to have a single gunshot wound to the head. There was not much blood on the carpet underneath her. There were no wounds on her hands or her feet. I immediately presumed that she was shot first. Wileen had much more obvious, much more severe injuries. She had a gag in her mouth. Her undergarments were pulled down. There was more blood under Wileen's body. She had knife wounds on her throat. There was a wound on her arm that appeared to be a gunshot. For a father like Jack to walk in and find his children, that's beyond imagination. My uncle was shaking uncontrollably and crying uncontrollably. I don't know how he even stood up seeing that scene. I'd imagined how I might have felt if I had found my daughter. No question. I was affected. I've never had anything to match this. Right away, investigators can tell the killer targeted Wileen. Whoever had taken her life had spent some significant time harming Wileen. She was abused, if not tortured, prior to her death. This crime is extremely horrific. You could tell that this was personal. Whoever did this was definitely concentrated on harming Wileen while her dead sister laid next to her. I feel like Wileen was the target and that Lily was just used as another way to torture Wileen by killing her first. While detectives search for a motive, 11-year-old Jackie and the rest of Wileen and Lily's family confront this horrible loss. I used to spend the night at that house. My mom was crying because she knew I could have been there. Wileen and Lily are my aunts. Wileen loved dancing and was very social. She had a vintage clothing store in the Heights area. The vintage clothing store was Wileen's passion. That was her goal, to find the most unique pieces of clothing she could. I loved going to visit my Aunt Wileen and spending the weekend with her. I remember her taking me clothing shopping because we would go to unusual places. So some of the clothes I would wear to school, no one else had them. Wileen was always very energetic, outgoing. She accepted absolutely everybody. She was a great person to look up to. Lily was a little more subdued, more calm, and very, I don't know what to say, within herself. Lily was more like your girl next door, quieter. soft-spoken, but very goofy. She's the type that would go and play pool with the boys at the bar. My first footsteps were from my grandmother to Lily. She was a big sister to me. Then all of a sudden, my aunts aren't there. They're just taken away from me. It was unbelievable. It was probably the most horrific day of my whole life. It was like a horror movie for Wileen, being tortured in the last hour of her life. A CSI team goes over every inch of the crime scene, and they start to get a picture of what happened the morning of this double murder. There's no sign of forced entry. It seems to speak to the idea that they knew the person and were comfortable enough to let him in. And then things escalated out of control from that point. There were bloody footprints throughout the house. The footprints that we saw had a distinctive wavy kind of design to them, sort of like an athletic shoe. We found that wavy pattern around the corner and just a little bit down the street from the house. What was interesting was that one of the couch cushions was missing from Wileen's couch. I'm not sure why the couch cushion was taken. There's been a couple of rumors. Wileen is said to have told an associate that she had hidden some cocaine from her boyfriend in a cushion on the couch, but there was no evidence whatsoever of any kind of dope, anything of that nature. She was very neat, tidy person, but the house was ransacked, and things were missing. That would indicate somebody's looking for something. But there was $500 cash, and there was jewelry left in the house. But the amount of energy expended on Wileen led me to believe that somebody that wanted something from her, or she had really made somebody mad. The murder of two sisters. A very vicious attack. Really horrific. Torturous behavior. That ups the game. We're going to have to find this guy. This was beyond the pale. Police canvassed the heights, looking for anyone who'd seen or heard anything unusual the night of the murders. A neighbor reported that around 11 p.m., Lily knocked on her door and asked for a bandage. Lily explained she had just sprained her ankle. Everything seemed fine. Another neighbor. She heard some loud noise and some shouting and whatnot. And then what she thought were very loud thumps. That might well have been the 2 gunshots, since there were 2 shots fired in the house. That was about 6 to 6:30 that morning. A third witness gives police part of a timeline and what could be a description of the killer. At 6:30 or so, he had gone out to get in his truck to get ready to go to work. They see a guy come around the corner, and he's carrying a multicolored blanket and some clothing inside. And he's stumbling around and dropping stuff. What are you doing here? Why? Do I look like a burglar? Yes, you do. Well, I'm really embarrassed. My girlfriend and I just had a big argument, and she threw me out. And this is the stuff I've got. And I'm just heading on out. That was the extent of that exchange. The person that was seen by the witness was rather clumsy, and he dropped a cushion from a love seat. I had documented a cushion missing from a full love seat from the house, and lo and behold, it's discovered around the corner. We found it. It had blood on it. It was torn open, but there was nothing in it. The telltale cushion confirms that the suspect had at least been in Wileen's house, and investigators now have a witness. That witness helped prepare a composite sketch, which sometimes opens dozens of potential leads. The first time I saw the composite drawing was in a local Houston newspaper. It's a face out there, but it could be anybody. It just looked like a man to me. I mean, there was no one. It was nobody I recognized. Most people like to think of, oh, this is going to take me to the person. And it wasn't. Those aren't photographs. The fact that we didn't get an exact match early on was, to me, quite the norm. While police continue their neighborhood canvass, the medical examiner conducts autopsies on the victims. In terms of the autopsy results, we learned that Lily had been shot in the back of the head, and that the bullet had not exited her head. That was the cause of death. Wileen's injuries. There were multiple knife strokes. I think there were 4 cuts to her neck, gaping wounds in her neck. That was ruled the cause of death. At autopsy, sexual assault kits were collected by the medical examiner in both Wileen and Lily's examination. The testing was performed in our lab. Results for Lily was negative, so there was no seminal fluid identified. the sexual assault kit that was collected from Wileen. The results for semen tested positive. 1984 types of testing that could be performed was very limited. There was really no DNA testing as we know today. The autopsy leads them nowhere. So investigators turned to Lily and Wileen's father, Jack, to see if he knows anyone who had a grudge against his daughters. Jack had some reservations immediately about Wileen's former boyfriend. And Jack didn't shy away from having some thoughts not positive about Lily's ex-husband. Unfortunately, Wileen and Lily both, I guess you would say, weren't good at picking men. Jack said that Lily's ex-husband had recently made threats. Wileen's ex-boyfriend was involved in some drug use, right off the bat. We had two very viable suspects, an ex-boyfriend and an ex-husband. There's every likelihood it's one of them. After the murders happened, it became clear that Wileen's boyfriend had been involved in drug dealing. My family was convinced it was him. At the time of this tragedy, they were not together. They were considered broken up, but they were still in contact as a child. I knew Wileen's boyfriend as an uncle. He, to me, was a part of my family. I have a lot of great memories spending time with him. He was outgoing, made a lot of people laugh, so it was very hurtful for me to think that he had harmed my aunt. We interviewed Wileen's ex-boyfriend, and as might be expected, we got our hopes up. He apparently had a free-flowing lifestyle, and there were a number of conversations about his involvement in the sale of drugs. He didn't ask for counsel. We put him in a lineup. The neighbor, our witness in the lineup situation, was very, very helpful, but he did not in any way fit the person that our witness had seen leaving the house, and the ex-boyfriend does agree to take a polygraph test, and he passes with flying colors. No problem. With Wileen's ex-boyfriend in the clear, police turned their attention to Lily's ex-husband. My Aunt Lily was staying with Wileen to escape her husband. Lily had just divorced on the Friday before. By Monday morning, she's gone at 23 years old. Information came from the family members that he had made threats to harm her. Certainly, the overwhelming number of victims know their assailants in the first place. But now, we've got an ex-husband. We interviewed him in Pasadena, which is a suburb city. We found that he was big and strong and strapping, and not anything resembling the drawing. Also, he was on crutches. We found that he had had surgery and had had discs removed. They confirmed the hospital. There was no way that he would have been physically capable of committing this crime. I will say that did take the wind out of our sails, because here's a good viable lead. But now, it's gone. And it also makes no sense that he would have spent time on Wileen if it was Lily that he had the issue with. With the exes cleared, detectives widen their scope and look into Wileen's friends and associates. She was just a young, beautiful woman, wanting to have fun in many ways, and experimenting in many ways. Being in the partying atmosphere, you are exposed to being around all sorts of people. Some of the people in the vintage clothing business were really into some cocaine dealing, not to imply that she was a part of that, but had some associates that gave us pause. We spent some time pursuing leads that Wileen's ex-boyfriend had been involved with stealing some drugs from some people. We spent a lot of time searching for people that might have been seeking revenge on him through the girls. It was a lot of dead ends. For 2 weeks, the case stalls. But then a tipster calls Crime Stoppers and claims he's seen shoe treads similar to those reported in Wileen's house. We were alerted to the fact that there was a small apartment around the corner, down an alley, that someone noticed similar style footprints. The footprints were very suspicious around a drug dealer's house that lived close by. I went down and went to that location, and we saw wavy footprints in front of the door. We had a good positive blip on the radar and a good vibe. The occupant did not speak English. I speak Spanish, so I was able to converse with him. He granted us entrance to his house, and immediately, we found 24 marijuana cigarettes, and we found LSD in the freezer, and found a big pistol that he had wrapped up. It turned out he was unlawfully in this country. We took him into custody, and we immediately submitted the shoes to the crime lab. This offered hope and promise. but his shoes did not match the pattern from the house. The gun was tested. It was obvious that it had not fired the bullets. Our joy was short-lived. He was not our guy. We were back to square one. We were striking out. It's definitely disappointing. It made me realize that maybe we will never find out what happened to Wileen and Lily. The thoughts never leave your mind. How can this person get by with murdering 2 young women? And then there's no word, no evidence. Nobody says anything. The murder is never going to be found. At such a young age in 5th grade, all I could think about, if that happened to my aunts, anybody could break into the house and kill me. I had difficulty sleeping, walking around the house, locking doors, locking windows. Police search for the killer, but the victim's family is mired in a state of grief and despair. Every adult around me was completely falling apart. I felt like I had to. Even though I was so young, I had to be strong. My grandfather, as a father, finding his daughters like that, he had PTSD. He had nightmares. Uncle Jack blamed himself for not being there. The father is supposed to protect their children. My mom went down she didn't know how to live after this. The leads dwindle. Months pass, and there's nothing new. After 2 years, the case of the murdered sisters goes as cold as the darkness before dawn. We found that within the 2nd year mark that the case had really slowed down. And then it truly stopped. I can tell you from someone who's worked with homicide survivors now for just about 30 years, to have a case like that go cold, it's got to gnaw at you. It scares you because you think the same thing is going to happen to you or to your child. Like my only daughter. Could somebody come back and do that to her? It's so hard to think that a murderer got away. The case might be cold, but Wileen and Lily's mother, Rose, refuses to let her daughters be forgotten over time. My grandmother Rose made it her life to make sure that her daughter's stories were never forgotten. On the anniversaries of the killing, she would go to the grave sites. There were some times that I would even go to the grave sites with her. She would make sure that she contacted newspapers, TV shows, so that it would not be forgotten. Jackie Elliott carries on her grandmother's fight to find justice for Wileen and Lily, but decades pass without a decent lead. So what's in the box? When my grandmother passed away, most people inherit a jewelry box. I inherited a metal box. It contains original newspaper articles. It has a newspaper clipping of the composite drawing. It was her collection of any kind of investigative material on her deathbed. My grandmother told me never to forget and tried to make sure I continue the effort of getting this story out there. Jackie spent her life looking for ways that the case would get known and that the murderer could be found. On the 30th year anniversary, I decided to pick up the phone and call Houston Police Department. I was nervous. They connected me to the cold case detective. I was able to find out some great news. There was a cold case unit in the Houston Police Department when the cold case detective assumed this case. He checked, and they found that there was still a viable sample of fluids that had been gathered by the medical examiner at the autopsy. They had actually developed a DNA profile on it. It turns out we had something substantial, physical evidence to connect someone to the crime. In a case like this, where we've run out of leads, but suddenly we discover that we have viable physical evidence, which the courts love and juries love, especially DNA. That's great news. They added that DNA to a national database. Unfortunately, we never got any matches. Okay, we have someone's DNA, but we still don't know who it belongs to. But hopefully, they will be incarcerated at one point, and then bam, we have a match. I mean, that's all you can hope for. Then the case that was cold for 30 years heats up with a single phone call. I got a phone call early morning, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, from someone who was in jail in our community in Lake County, Indiana. This person whom I had met before had important matters to discuss about a cold case in Houston, Texas. A defendant who had earned a very, very long sentence said, "I've got something to barter with for my freedom." He mentioned the Kennedy sisters, but he right away mentioned who had committed these murders. The name of the murderer was Edmund Deegan. That morning, I called Houston Police Department. The cold case investigator at the time actually went several states away and visited. The informant says Edmund Deegan came to him back in 1984 in Houston, asking for help. So my client and Edmund Deegan were associates. Deegan came over with a duffel bag with stuff in there. Deegan told my client that he had just killed 2 people and that he needed to get rid of this evidence. I asked my client for a sledgehammer because he also had a gun and a knife, which he broke into pieces. He had a purse and some personal belongings that belonged to the Kennedy sisters. They went in the back, and they started a fire, and he threw the items in there. The cold case investigator began checking that information out. It turned out Deegan was associated to varying degrees of activity with Wileen in the vintage clothing business. He was actually a competitor of hers, my uncle, the brother of Wileen and Lily. Immediately recognized the name Edmund Deegan, being one of Wileen's business associates, and had met Edmund Deegan. So it was a little startling that it was someone that Wileen actually knew. Houston police tracked down Deegan and questioned him. Tuesday, 11:57 a.m. Attempt to interview Edmund Deegan. Come on in. Paul Motar. Nice to meet you. Edmund Deegan. Were you there that night? That it happened? No. Okay. No. God. No. Would you consider yourself a boyfriend? With her? No. So you never had sex with her at all? Ever? No. Is there any way you could? At some point. Just come on by and just look at some more pictures and stuff like that. Whatever you need. I appreciate you coming down. No problem. And I'll be honest with you. Somebody's naming you. Well, it's not me. It's 30 years later. Right. And they've got it. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not me. Officer, on the up. But I did not kill anybody. Honestly, what I believe is that you did go over there, and you did get involved in this whole thing. I promise you, I did not kill anyone. I don't care what anybody says. I was not involved in that murder of that girl. Right. It's not true. Officer, I'm serious. You willing to give me a swap? Like a buckle swap? Sure, I guess so. All right. I don't have any choice. Though, well, it's better if you just go along with it. Yeah, I'm going along with it. Instead of arguing with me. Yeah. To deny taking a swab would mean that all the other answers were false. So Deegan had no choice. Just rub your inside of both cheeks together. Just leave them together. Just rub them. And the detective got what he needed. All right, that's good? Go. For the first time. Jackie Elliott may be able to put a name to the sketch from 30 years ago. I believe that the composite drawing from the neighbor was Deegan. If you compare a picture of Deegan at that time of his life to the composite drawing, you will see how similar both look to each other. A few weeks later, Deegan's DNA swab results are back from the lab. It took about 2 weeks for us to process the buccal swab. Do the comparison. We have a very rigorous and thorough review process. On December 26th of 2014, we issued a DNA report. The conclusion was Edmund Deegan cannot be excluded. The most conservative statistic is you'd need to sample or test 1.4 billion people in order to potentially see that DNA profile again. When we do get that hit, it is elation. It is, oh my goodness, we got you. Never give up. It's very sad that my grandmother, my grandfather, and my mother did not live long enough to see the arrest. Now we have a chance to go to trial. You've done your part, and now you have to sit back and wait and see what will happen with Deegan. It's out of your hands. Edmund Deegan was arrested for the murders of Wileen and Lily, but the prosecutor was very clear to me that this case was going to be hard. Just because someone raped someone doesn't automatically mean they murdered them. Unfortunately, other than the DNA, there's no other tangible evidence because prosecutors don't have a strong hand to play. They're forced to make a devil's bargain with a killer. The prosecutor was not able to connect Edmund Deegan physically to Lily's death, whereas Wileen had the DNA evidence on her body from that rape kit. Sometimes prosecutors have to enter into negotiations because of the evidence, not because they want to. Prosecutors make their deal, and it leaves a bitter taste with the victim's family. The plea bargain was only pleading guilt to the murder of Wileen Kennedy. It dropped the rape charges, and it did not list Lily Kennedy. My Aunt Lily is the unnamed victim in all of this. I get it. You need her to plead it out. Over 90% of these cases, they're going to end up with a plea bargain. I get it, but I was kind of thrown aback by the amount of sentence that he received. It's very difficult. The 15-year sentence. 15 years is not enough. My cousins were young and didn't get to live their life. And he had all this time. For Edmund Deegan, that was the deal of a lifetime. Was I happy with that? No. A human's life. To steal one and deprive one is worth more than that. And it wouldn't hurt to know precisely what happened that morning. I believe that he went to find cocaine, according to the story that she had some hidden from her ex-boyfriend. And things did not proceed the way he anticipated, but he did have a weapon with him. He had 2 weapons with him, and when things went south, he ended up using those weapons. The news has Jackie and her family reeling, and there is one final injustice ahead. The murderer, Deegan, is back on the streets. He's out. Whether I like it or anyone likes it. A Texas law. Let him out after serving less than 7 years of a 15-year sentence. I had such a difficult time, but Andy has been a major support to me. He was the one that helped me learn and understand the law and why all these things were happening. This quirky law that Texas enacted in 1977 to alleviate prison overcrowding. It's called a mandatory release law. Basically stated any inmate. It didn't matter if you murdered somebody, if you raped somebody. Even if you were a serial killer who committed a crime in Texas between 1977 and 1987, was eligible for automatic release, as long as they maintained good behavior in prison. I guess they never thought that the after effects will haunt this state forever. 6 years, really, for such a violent, disgusting act. The only place he belongs is behind bars or in a grave. I've been told he's not allowed to be in Harris County here in Houston for the next 10 years. You're asking for a criminal to follow rules when they've broken so many already. Honestly, the only way I'm ever going to feel safe in this world is going to be either me dying or him dying. I've missed them, and I want to hold them, and I want them back. I want to see their smiling faces. I love them, Wileen and Lily. Even though they're not physically here with me to help me through this, they're still around me. They're like my angels.